Hello again, I'm Bob Colt. We're continuing our conversations in Charlotte Public Schools. And if you think about who's the employee of the month, Deanna Schoup, the Q, which stands for
Charlotte Upper Elementary.
Administrative Assistant. Tell us a little bit about what you do every day, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I work the front desk, and I greet parents every day, and students and staff. And my biggest job is probably substitutes. I work with the substitutes pretty closely.
And that's a big challenge sometimes, isn't it?
Yes, sometimes we don't have subs, so that's a big part of my day, trying to find somebody.
And so your day begins kind of early because they have to be there
Yes.
when school opens. Talk a little bit about that.
I start at 8 o'clock, and the teachers start at 8:45, so I have usually 45 minutes to get something in place, plan in place.
Yeah.
So,
And so are you actually making the calls to substitutes to?
we have a system that we use, and sometimes it falls through, and then I have to do the hands-on calls. So.
Yeah. And so as you're trying to get substitutes for teachers, it's part of your duty. You're also welcoming people into the school, and
Yeah.
so are you a traffic cop in a way?
Well, you could say that, yes.
You're directing people in the
Yes.
right direction?
Yeah, we have lots of parents in the morning dropping their kids off, and a lot of them come in and say good morning, and we're there to say hi.
Yeah. So what do you think the challenge is in upper elementary?
Oh, the challenges. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have a challenge in that you're dealing with both parents and children
Yes.
all the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about.
Throw a few staff in the mix too. Yeah.
So are staff members coming down asking you for things every day?
Yeah.
So give us a normal kind of situation.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see. It just changes every day. Sometimes we need rosters for something, or address labels for something, or just little things like that. If they're going on a field trip, they need to make sure they have everything in place with the bus garage, and usually I'm the coordinator for that. And
So you're a fixer, you're a problem solver.
I problem solve all day, yes.
And so how long have you done this job? And tell us a little bit more about you, not just the job that you do, Deanna.
Well, I've been in the district for over 20 years now. I think I'm approaching my 21st year. And I started off as a parapro at Washington Elementary, and I worked in the emotionally impaired classroom. And then decided I didn't want recess duty anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I got tired of the snowball fights. And so I went on, decided secretaries where I wanted to be, and that was one of my dream jobs. I played that when I was a kid.
Really?
And I did. I pretended like I was a secretary. So I put my foot in the door and I started subbing, and then I was, I applied for a position and got it.
So you've been with the school district for 21 years, and your jobs have kind of changed, but you've been
Yes.
doing this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's definitely changed since the first day that I started. We didn't have the buzzer system to let people into the door, and we didn't have phones in every room. Back at the old junior high, we had an intercom system, and that's how we got in touch with everybody.
Yeah.
And, it's a lot nicer now.
It's a lot nice. Is it
lot
easier?
easier. Yes, it
There's
is.
more things to control and
Yes.
coordinate, isn't there?
Yes, but yeah,
And-
it's nice.
And so how has Charlotte changed in the 21 years that
Oh
you've been doing this
gosh,
job?
Technology would probably be the biggest. Like I said, the old junior high didn't have a phone in every room, and
Yeah.
now we've got phones in every room and intercom system in every room, and you don't think of that as being a big deal, but it sure is. It's a lot easier to do my job when I have that.
So there are more services you can provide to other people?
Mm-hmm.
In staff, teachers, and students as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so have parents' needs changed for information?
Probably more medicine now.
Yeah.
Parents dropping off more medicine, from the everyday cough drop to other medicines that children may need.
So you have to coordinate all of that too. That's amazing.
Yes.
No wonder you're employee of the month. So, do you have an attitude or a philosophy about work? Is there something that you think about every day? I'm going to...
Well, I think communication is the key. Communication is a very big part of my job, and I can't do my job if I don't communicate. And that's with, the parents, with the students, with the staff, with my administrators.
Yeah.
Make my job easy.
And people do a pretty good job in communication then too. And so is it important then to have a positive attitude as well? Because you're sitting here doing this interview with a smile on your face.
After an 8-hour day.
After a long day, yeah. So tell us a little bit about a day. You started at 8 o'clock and checking to see if everyone's going to be in the classroom and any substitutes. What else normally happens in your day?
Well, we have students that sign in late. It's not a school day if there's not a late student. So we have a system, it's called the school check-in system, and they sign in and they get a pass to go to class. And that happens, in about a half an hour we have kids rolling in. So, and then I try to do a little of the banking that I have to do, or, other things that the principals may need.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so as the day progresses, you said you didn't necessarily like recess duty.
No.
Early
I don't
in
have
your,
recess duty. So.
You don't have that. But other folks in the upper elementary are doing different things that you're also monitoring in different ways, aren't you?
Yeah. And giving out medicine, we have to have 2 people to observe that, and so we have to do that every day. And and that happens throughout the day. Somebody might need some pain reliever for a sore foot that they have, but the parents bring the medicine in. We don't supply that.
And so, what about lunch? Is that a coordinating time for you?
It can be a little bit busy. We make sure that both secretaries are there, and the administrators are usually covering in the lunchroom at that time. But the office can be pretty busy.
Yeah.
Again, we have students coming in for medicine at that time, and anybody that forgot a swimsuit for the class that's coming up, they have to call home and see if they can have mom or dad bring in a swimsuit and a towel.
And then you have to be there.
We've got to make sure we call that student down and get that swimsuit to them.
And so as the afternoon academic day kind of progresses, and your day, you're looking forward probably to everything wrapping up, what do you do in the afternoon as the school day is closing?
Well, then we're starting to get all those end of the day messages to the student, and we get a lot of phone calls at the end of the day.
So phone calls that you've got to deliver to make sure that students are coordinated and where they have to be and everything?
If there is a change of plans from a parent from when they said this morning, you need to ride the bus, and then forgot they had a doctor's appointment after school, then we've got to get that message to the student that says, Mom's picking you up instead of riding the bus.
So are you the last person out of the building every day?
No, my administrators are.
Is that right?
Yes.
But still, it's a long day, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And so how do you as an employee kind of keep that positive attitude going? Is there anything that you do or want to share with other people?
Start every day fresh.
Yeah.
So,
and you're fortunate.
With a smile.
Yeah, you're fortunate to work with a lot of good people. Talk about them.
Yes, I work with a great staff. I love my administrators, just wonderful, very supportive, and the teachers are wonderful, and our support staff's great, and just have a wonderful relationship with all. So.
And so talk a little bit more about some of the things that parents ask you to do. You've shared a couple of examples, but do you have any good stories of unusual or different things that have happened lately?
Well, I would say just this morning we had a parent report a situation that happened in the parking lot this morning, and so she wanted to let me know about that, and she wrote down a driver's license, or driver's plate, or license plate, and wanted to make sure I got that to the police, because they were being naughty in the line.
Is that right? So they reported that to you, and you have to...
I smiled, and I wrote all that information down.
You recorded it.
I did.
Yeah. Well,
I
good.
did my job.
And so that's one kind of thing, and there is, and I said earlier, traffic cop. There are a lot of moving pieces to your
Yes.
job.
Yeah, I don't sit idle at all during my day.
And what about kids moving through school during the day? You kind of have to keep track of that too, in a way, don't you?
At the Q, at the upper elementary, for the most part, the kids, they just have the one class
Yeah.
and one teacher.
But they're moving through the halls and everything.
Yeah, and so it's, yeah, they go with their teacher, and in sixth grade they have a team teacher, so
Right.
they move a little bit more in sixth grade than they do in the fourth grade.
And so, in 21 years, have you had the experience to watch young people really grow up?
Yes, I have.
Because you see them in the community all the
Yes,
time, don't you?
yes, and they recognize me.
Yeah.
Didn't you used to work at my school? I said, yeah, I'm afraid I did, yes. So,
And you still work there.
I still work there.
And so what makes the job fun for you?
The kids. I love the kids.
Yeah. And so, Deanna, what kind of things do the kids ask you to do? I mean, we know what parents are asking you to do with medicine and keeping track, but what kinds of things are kids asking you to do every day?
Passes for class and phone numbers. Just a quick story. You wouldn't believe how many students don't know how to use a regular telephone.
Really?
Yeah. They only know cell phones, and you have to tell them to pick up the phone, and there's no send button. So we kind of giggle about that. So. Yes.
So,
old-fashioned telephone.
an old-fashioned, don't know what
They
it
don't
is.
know what it is.
And so
We have to walk them through it. At least once a day, and I'm not lying.
No kidding.
Yeah, that often.
Wow.
So.
Well, so
And I don't think everybody knows that.
so can you keep up on technology and everything? I mean, young people are pretty sophisticated.
I think they've passed me on
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
So you can ask
I try, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You can ask kids in upper elementary levels even to help you out a
Yes,
little
you got it. Yeah.
on new things. Hey, I do want you to talk a little bit about the important role of working with teachers and the support of teachers in your building and in the school system.
I have a very close relationship with the teachers. You know, and they ask for just, you know, everything. They, like I said earlier, you know, they might need a class roster. They have a sub coming in, and they wanted to make sure they have the updated rosters. They might need labels for postcards they want to send home to the kids, or you know, just random things like that.
So those are all things that you do and anticipate that you will do to support the teaching staff,
bet.
because I think a lot of people don't really understand that a teacher's role is pretty dynamic. There are a lot of things that they need to keep a classroom
Yes,
going, right?
exactly, yes. And we're there to help the teacher.
Yeah.
That's what our job is. So.
Well, Deanna, is there anything else you want to say about Charlotte, or that parents or anybody who might click on or view this segment might want to know?
Well, I think Charlotte is a wonderful place to live, and my sons went to school here, K through 12, and they had a great experience, so I'm really proud of them.
Well, great. Well, Deanna, thank you for sharing your knowledge in this conversation, and congratulations on being Employee of the Month. That's great.
Thank you.
I'm Bob Colt. We'll continue our conversations in Charlotte Public Schools.